Welcome to the Diamond Podcast. It's your host, Nkosi Natito. You back with another podcast. Today was guys, if you kind of remember, this is the episode where I was reflecting on the first term, but close to reflecting on term two. But we're still in the two papers left, two of the most difficult papers that need the most work. So, DG, Dorian Gray, Hamlet, the poems, Morning Sun, all them things, story. I think I'm in the right mental space to come and get ready for starting. As you can see, I was recording the whole video, day in the life, day in the life of Kosinatito. You understand what I'm saying? And this day was wild. I don't wanna, you know, give it all away now because we gotta watch the video because the video will be nice. Day in the life. But yeah, let's get to talking about the stuff that we need to talk about. First of all, I'm grateful that I get to do this. Make a podcast. Check in mentally, talk to myself, talk to you people, kind of get that reset on life. When everything is overwhelming, when you don't have someone to talk to, most people don't have someone to talk to and bounce off their ideas. I think talking outwardly, or at least talking, because sometimes it's all because you haven't had time to open your mouth and just talk. Sometimes you just need to talk, get some ideas out, just get some thoughts in, and just feel the grasp of reality, because you feel it when you hear yourself. So if everything is in your mind, you kind of always everything seems bigger than it is in your mind. So yeah, I'm gonna play some tunes. No, I ain't gonna play no tunes. Let's talk about me, man. I hope, since you've seen the previous podcast, you know, trying to I have two projects in the works right now. Projects that they seem kind of debilitating procrastination products. Speaking of procrastination, just something I noticed about myself. Just a thing. I don't know if you might relate with me, but there's this thing about me. Uh, every time when things tend to get, a little bit harder, a little bit more tougher, a little bit more hectic around in my life, I tend to at least go towards the part that makes it more harder. Like for an example, just take this exams for example. Before the exams, there was a time I was supposed to be, focused, locked in, and the pressure was getting to me, and I felt it because term two had all this weight on it. You have to perform, you have to become what you always thought you were, but now it's time to to lock in. Some people deal with pressure differently. I deal with it in a way which is just make it harder. So I started to get to know a young little woman, as you might know from the previous episode. I got to know a young woman. I feel like it will always be. I feel like in term two was the same situation, but in term two the connection was cut a little bit short, conveniencing me and letting me, kind of move back to focusing. I guess that's what the formula was. I'm trying to find myself, man. Trying to find myself, trying to find what works and why this does not work, how you can better your life and all those things. So I hope, even in this quest of finding the next harder thing to do, I can find the next harder thing that benefits my life too. Understand what I'm saying? Find that balance between things that because it's all related. You understand what I'm saying? Kind of find a thing. Let's say, for example, I'm trying to get ready for the matric finals. Maybe at that time, instead of finding something that is totally opposite of what I'm doing, let me kind of find something that motivates me and lets me push and lets me be on the same path and perform more and be optimal rather than deterring me from the path, Yeah, that's one thing I realized about myself. But one thing I also want to talk about is that, you know, as we grow as human beings, we tend to see certain patterns that I've seen in my life is as you grow, you become more mature. Like I said, in the same setting, I was like, I will never be mature. I will never. It's a total switch now. I feel like as you grow, you become more mature and you kind of deal with things different. Because I'm a person that is self-aware of what I'm doing. So self-aware sometimes that you know I believe I'm my biggest critic, but I'm able to get out of that phase. I got too many phases, too many perspectives I can put on myself. So it's a blessing and a curse to have so many perspectives on yourself and watching yourself and over analyzing and criticizing. Sometimes you get too lazy and you go on the excuser side, the denial side, and oh, I'm the greatest. You understand what I'm saying? I have both, which kind of strikes a balance in my life. I think being the most critical and the most delusional in the same person kind of strikes a balance somehow. But sometimes, there's balancing issues. The delulu might overpower the critic might overpower the delulu. So I think in most people's lives, try and find that balance. Try and find that balance between, you know, being delusional and believing yourself and also being critic and assessing your ability honestly and effectively for everyone's gain. You understand what I'm saying? But sometimes there's situations that call for a delulu though and a critical though. See, understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like everyone should have equal amount of confidence and equal amount of delusion. Equal amount of confidence and equal amount of delusion, because it's not every time that you're gonna get it right. But if you have that delusion, that you need the delusion to start and the critic to move on. The delusion to start and the critic to move on. You need the delusional belief in yourself to be like, I'm gonna start this, whatever it is, whatever you want to do in life. You want to be a musician, an artist, a doctor, a nurse, whatever you want to do, whatever thing that you think is so irrational to think about. Whatever you think you want to do, you need the delusion to start first. The delusion and the faith to start first. And speaking of faith, you also need to believe in God for everything you do. So, like I was saying, you need the delusion to start first. You need the delusion to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go and do this thing. I'm gonna put in the work. I already believe I've been doing this and this and this. Hey man, this ain't nothing. That's what I'm saying. So you need that little bit of delusion to kind of guide you in a path of just go over the starting line, because the start is the most important thing. But as you go on and you realize, oh, I'm not the best. Oh, I have something to learn. Oh, that's when the critic comes in. You understand? That's when being critically thinking about yourself in that moment counts. Because in the start, you don't really need no doubters. That's why people are like, at the beginning, they were doubting me. That's why people, tend to get deterred when they get doubted at the beginning. At the beginning, you have all the motivation you need. You don't need no extra motivation. You already have that self-belief in yourself. Like I said, you already have that self-belief in yourself. So everything else is not gonna deter you at the beginning. So I know like people say the start is the hardest part, but like I feel like at the start that's where you have the most motivation, and at the middle where you are like, I wanna rest. That's when you can kind of like need that motivation again. So that's when I think your critical thinking should kick in and be like, oh, I thought you said you were the best. I thought you ain't the best. You got this to learn, this to learn, this to learn, this to learn. You gotta learn about this and this and this. You see, now you have another kind of motivation, a discipline leaded into intended motivation. That motivation will push you to be stronger. And that's the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Is that both of them, there's a successful person, there's an unsuccessful person. Both start with the same vision. Let's say both want to open a multi-million dollar business, hypothetically. Both start. Motivation to begin. Everyone has it. Everyone has their, oh, I want to start a business. I got this idea and this idea. You fresh at the beginning. You understand? It's a speed run. At the beginning, you ain't running a whole field full of laps. You're just starting. You got that. You got all the oxygen is full. Your body is fine. You are not aching. So at the beginning, both of them, they start this journey. Bah, they start. Now is the middle part. Now this is where the difference is. This is where the critical mind kind of perseveres and becomes. This is where you build well, by the way. You build well by being critical. Some people might say, oh, you're a hater. You just gotta be critical to yourself more than anyone else could be out there. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta be your biggest fan and your biggest hater in the same person. That's what success is, man. And when you get to the middle, you see the successful person kind of struggle. They're both struggling, by the way. There's no exception. Everybody struggles. This is the thing that people need to understand. Everybody struggles. Everybody has their point in time where they want to give up and it's not that good. It's not that fruitful to just keep on going. It's not serving you anymore. You don't see a path other than giving up. We all have those times. But then that's when the critical thinking has to kick in. Has to be like, oh, you just have to do this. So that's what, and then this unsuccessful person might give up at that point. Granted, you didn't even see a path forward. The thing is with success stories is that they are success stories. That's why you can tell them. You can't be telling a poor person who has no money, has to provide for their family, and has to provide for this and this and this, and tell them only if you were pushing, only if you felt that. It's a different of opinion, dog. That's why I'm saying only it's selective, just like evolution. Only the best will survive. Generically, everybody would be like, "This is not serving me anymore. I can give up now. Let me find something that will serve me in a better way." But then it takes that few people, that few civilization, that few rare breed of human beings to be like, oh, this is a chance to improve. This is a chance to do something that has never been done before. Understand what I'm saying? And speaking of success stories, as much as I speak of all these people, different types of people, being successful, not being successful, the difference, how you can, kind of alter the whole mindset of one to become the one that pushes forward. Let's talk about me in my journey to success. It's at this beginning point, but it's at its. Let me give you where this story comes from. I think the beginning of grade 12, everyone had the motivation to start in it. Everyone had the motivation to be like, oh, this is a grade 12. We gotta push harder. We gotta pass because next year is real life. You're an adult now. You gotta learn about more things and be serious about life and focus. Everybody was focused into one. And then like I said, the beginning has the motivation part. Everyone can motivate each other at the beginning. It's easier when you already have the backstory and you already see the part in front of you and you're like, oh, I can do it. But now it's term two. It's harder. It's a real exam. It's a true test of grit and will. and we're gonna see if you can, be a successful category, the rare breed successful. Everybody wants to be there, by the way. Everybody wants to be. There's not one person that's like, oh, I want to be the unsuccessful person, the one that gives up right now to find another path and fail again and again and again and not build any sort of identity. No, we don't ever think of ourselves as the villain in the story, the 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 not cool guy in the story. We always think of ourselves as the person that will persevere, the person that become the hero of the story. But the thing is, the truth is, not all of us are gonna be true heroes. And honestly, I think that's that's information that we've heard a lot. Like not everyone wins. But the thing is, if everyone works hard, everyone wins. Like that's the problem. That's the thing I kind of, when my once my brain starts spiraling and be like, I want to become this and this and this. It's gonna take this and this and this. Do I even have what it takes to be this and this and this? And then I'm like, ooh, I don't think I can do this. Thing is, you gotta just go back, go back, go back. Work hard. That's the thing. That's the thing that everybody kind of misses. You gotta work hard. If you work hard, everything works out. You understand what I'm saying? It might not even work out in the way you think it might work out because God has different plans for all of us. But once you put in the work and work really hard, something is gonna give. Understand? The people that work hard, it always works out. I'm not saying everyone becomes successful at the same time. No. People are we are at different points of our in races in our lives. You might be at the same age, you might be older, and the person younger than you might be successful or might be doing things that you always wanted to do. I think that's the thing that deters people, seeing people at the same level of knowledge and age and seeing them succeed and them not. That kind of becomes a deterring factor. That should be your motivation. That, oh, they did it at that age. Oh, surely it's going to happen for me. You understand what I'm saying? Look at things in a positive way. Be critical, be self aware, be motivational, be corny. I don't care. Just do what it takes to become the winner. Because it's gonna take a lot of it, a lot of work, a lot of motivation, a lot of laughing, a lot of willpower, a lot of thinking, a lot of delusion. All of it is necessary for you to kind of become a success. But some of the things that I see is become a trend in life is morals are lost. I don't like this trend. Morals are lost as people progress in life and become more successful. They The reason why I say morals are lost is because the path gets so hard that working hard is not as fruitful, and it's easier to be tempted. There's a lot of temptations. The easy road is very, very tempted and scrumptious and looking nice and delicious. But take let's say you're on a diet, 3 months diet. You're trying to lose weight. You have a goal in mind. You're trying to lose weight about 50 pounds, about 10 kilograms, let me say, in the South African metric system. About 10 kilograms in 3 months. You're trying to lose that. And you see a scrumptious cake. See that scrumptious cake. And you see a scrumptious cake and Ozempic. Let's put it in that way. You can eat the cake and take Ozempic and still lose 10k, or you can just put in the work, leave the cake, you eat the cake when your body needs it. You understand what I'm saying? When you can have cheat days and all of that. It's all about that. Because discipline and morals kind of works hand in hand. Once you lose the discipline and you get tempted easily and you look for the easy way out, the morals don't tend to stick as longer. You understand what I'm saying? As you see with people, they become successful, they look for the easy way out. That's why multi-million dollar people, the billionaires, your Elon Musk, your Bill Gates, your pharmaceutical reps, all of those people tend to become excluded from the real authenticness of the world. They kind of lose it because they've had to take the shortcut so many times to become successful that now they have none left. Now they have to become these people with the identity of being ruthless. We have to change that up, that kind of perspective of looking at successful people in that way. And that takes successful people still having morals. There's very few of them left. You understand what I'm saying? So the first part is being successful. Successful, or you're one of a few. And then the second part is having morals and keeping true to your identity as a human being. Have some empathy, sympathy, love left in you. This whole trajectory of opinion that is very, what is this? This is very famous within the black families word. Money is the devil's what. I see where it comes from because the more money makes more money, more money makes more money. And if you have more money, you find ways to make more money easier. So you lose the kind of attachment of working hard for that money. And the hard work comes with the morals, and the morals are built in you from a young kid. And you might see the kid, you might even say, parents might even see the kids be like, I raised this child from a young kid, he was a good kid, but now he's older, he's ruthless. What happened? That's what happens, dog. Like the morals tend to fade away. I know it takes a lot of demons, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of soul away from you to be like, oh, I gotta put in the work, I gotta do whatever it takes to become successful. Do whatever it takes, but don't lose yourself. Don't lose the most. Don't lose your identity. Make money your identity. That's the difference that this podcast is trying to. I'm kind of making this podcast is that the message is have morals. Keep those morals as you keep on going. You're gonna have times at the beginning. It's gonna be easy. It was always easy at the beginning. It's always easy to be like manifesting, having all those opinions and be like, oh, this year I'm gonna do this and this and this and this. It's always easy at the beginning, but in the middle, you're gonna find a time where you choose to work hard or persevere or take the easy way out. Taking the easy way out, you lose some of yourself. You lose that, the validation, self validation of working hard and earning what you did. So, work hard, persevere, become successful, never lose your morals. That's kind of like the message of this podcast somewhere. I don't know if I should be calling it a podcast or not, but it's a podcast, man. It's nice. I get to. I never even thought of the things I talked about today. So it's like a first draft, but I'm talking about it. But it's nice, man. And thank you for tuning into the Diamond Podcast. If you felt like there was frugal information, integral information, important information in your life, to keep on growing and moving and maturing and becoming a better person. And we're just striving for improvement on this channel. We're trying to be better. We're trying to be greater. We're trying to be also have a soul. Be a person with morals. Be a man and a woman with morals. So yeah, as we grow, as we become more successful, as we face challenges in our lives, remember to work hard and everything will work out. And also remember that once you work hard, once you put in the work, just remember, never lose yourself, never lose what you've been your whole life, never lose the identity, the morals. Always be authentic and never change yourself to become what you want to be. If it takes changing yourself, try taking the long way out and try and do it with your morals intact. And thank you for tuning in to Diamond Podcast. It's your host, Nkosi Natido. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.